9.91 in the first man ever to break 10 seconds in the flying 200 meter here. Our own Parkland High School graduate, and he's going to be pressed here in the semifinals. He won his first ride against, I believe it was Eddie Dawkins, whose record he broke. So they're going to have a second ride here, and we're going to see what happens with that. But the women will be up first in the semifinals.
Now, the clouds may look foreboding above us, but it's not cloudy and foreboding trackside. Cassie Schmidt with us again this week, and maybe she can get an opportunity to talk to Mr. Mellon and just talk about that 9.9 second record breaker as we look at some of the crowd. Nice crowd on hand at Valley Preferred. Fireworks coming up after the racing. So as you mentioned, Gary, let's hope some fireworks while we're racing and then fireworks after we're done racing.
And one of my favorite scenes here always is when they bring the giant flag out on the fire truck escalator. That's just something beautiful to see, the stars and stripes. It just gives you that patriotic feeling here, because this truly is USA against the world tonight.
Now, if they're sticking to the schedule,
there's that flag.
We should be. There it is. Gorgeous. Honoring the greatest nation in the world. And
just a few days after D-Day.
Coming up, D-Day. Longest day was on last night. We're going to watch that at some point this weekend. I caught the end of it last night, but that's a great movie to watch. This is the UCI Elite Women's Sprint Race, semifinal round 2.
And that's Lauriane Genet versus Elise Andrews.
Canada and New Zealand going at it. Gary, you mentioned a couple of.
This is like the UK rejects right now in terms of we're all former colonies of the United Kingdom. We've got Canada and New Zealand in this, and then next heat we'll have Caitlin Ward from Australia against our own Mandy Marquardt, our USA rider.
And Lauriane Genet won the first race over Elise Andrews, and the second race it was Caitlin Ward. So Marquardt's going to have her work cut out for you in race 2.
Yeah, she was leading it. She was leading that until very late in the race. So it's going to be interesting to see what her tactic will be going into this one. Here we have Genet leading, I believe.
I love the cat and mouse, the way they watch one another on the track.
Genet is just looking over her shoulder, She wants to be in front of the move when a move is made. Andrews has to come from behind. She's fired it up over the back straight into 3. She's high. She's got the longer route to go for sure. It looks like Genet just put the hammer down and she sails to the victory.
So Genet picks up the second win.
So she's won in straight rides. She's going on to the final.
Good run by Lauriane Genet. Now we'll go to the second race. It is Caitlin Ward. She's wearing bib number 16. She is from the Australian cycling.
And then Mandy is
and Mandy Marquardt. Mandy wearing number 70. I can't think of a number 70 football player like off the top of my head. That's a shame. I guess I don't watch the linemen as much as I think I do.
No, it's usually an offensive tackle. So unless they are the left tackle, you rarely hear about them.
Keith Thorney, I don't know. Was he 70? I don't know.
I don't remember what number Keith was. Mandy will have the top position on the start of this second ride.
Now, Gary, do you get to pick where you go? And if you fall behind, you get to select?
It's a draw, and then whoever started below first, they have to lead for a certain amount of the race, and then the next ride up, it switches. So Mandy had the low position to start the first ride. There's Mandy being held by her fiance, Jamie Alvord. There we go. And we're looking at cat and mouse. There's not going to be a 666-meter sprint on this one. They want to measure each other. Mandy's trying to go high, trying to stay out of her sight, make her turn, make her waste a lot of energy looking for her.
Peeking back, taking a look, trying to maybe take a flyer one lap.
Taking a leisurely tour of the track as the Blue Heron sails over the velodrome.
I wonder if he had to get a ticket.
Mandy's starting to pick up her speed. And she's just going in a straight, now she's going to accelerate. She's going to try and she's going to make her move here in turn 2. She wants it to be a longer sprint. And she's beautiful move on the inside.
Drops down.
She dropped down and took that sprinter's lane.
Marquard and Ward. Looks like Marquard's going to stretch it to a third race.
Ward knows she can't catch her and lets up just a touch because she wants to save her energy for the next ride, for the third and final ride. So it's a very smart tactical race by Mandy there. She just timed her move. She wanted to force the action to start at 2, but she had superior position. She knew right where she was, and look at that drop down coming out at 2. Almost forced off the track, but just not quite enough.
That almost looks scary, but that you mention every week about the banking of this track. That if it was, makes it special.
If that was 15-year-olds, that would be very scary. But watching 2 pros like this, that's something tremendous. That's something that the kids want to emulate, want to learn how to do properly.
Also, it'd be scary if it were a play-by-play guy from Service Electric. That would be scary too.
Especially one who's 40 pounds overweight.
Yeah, definitely. Who do we got next? It should be the men and their elite sprints.
Sure, this one should be
Mellon,
James
who
Mellon,
we talked about.
And Eddie Dawkins. Eddie Dawkins in the white.
And Mellon won the first one. And the second race is Sam Webster and James Brister. Webster won the first.
Yeah. James Mellon is in the Edge cycling gear, but that red, that's kind of Parkland red shirt that he has on almost.
Now, we mentioned, Gary, that Mellon, a little bit of a star here this evening. What did it take, aside from conditions, for Mellon to make that happen, get in under 10 seconds?
He's been training very hard. Like I said, he was competing over in Europe early in the spring, so he came in with pretty good form. I talked to him last week. He said he thought he liked how he felt, and he thought he had some great results over there. I think he had a second place overall in whatever competitions he was doing. So he's psyched. He's not afraid of anybody, and he's always had a great attitude. So he had a little slowdown period there when he first went off to college, because it's hard doing both college and sprint cycling. Matt Baranowski had to give up the college for a year to concentrate on the Olympics. Just the difference between the men and the women right now. They're both content. They're not wasting energy. When they're going to commit, they'll commit fully.
They'll get the bell as they come around turn 3 and turn 4.
Eddie made a big move over the top early. Can he hold it for a full lap? James goes way high into 2 rather. But he's got some speed coming up. He's closing coming into 4. And Mellon is pushing it. Look at that closing speed. He used that slipstream perfectly. That's what you see in NASCAR, using that whip around.
Looks like he almost waited to make that happen, but he does win too. So James Mellon, who set the record this afternoon, is going to be in the finals tonight of the Elite Men's Sprint.
Yes, congratulations there from Dawkins. He knows the speed that Mellon has. Look at that effort. Look at how close they came. And just look at that acceleration finish line.
Nice camera work by the crew to catch all the action in that race, as they always do out here at Valley Preferred. And a good replay setting that up, but he waited back a little bit. Kind of went like the Golden State Warriors. He put himself behind and then waited and put him away. And it looked kind of effortless, like Steph Curry shooting from 38 feet away from the basket.
Didn't look effortless to me. He looked like he knew what he had to do. He had to work hard for that.
Dawkins pushed him. There they go. It is our second race. Sam Webster is number 72.
Again, Sam's another rider who's been coming over here for several years versus Brister, the Australian. Again, this is like another UK colonies race.
See who wins it. If Webster takes it, he will move on to the final, and he will face Mellon. That would be a pretty dandy race.
And then don't forget, we do have UK riders here too with Thomas Rotherham. So we've got Great Britain is represented from all centuries, actually, the last 3 centuries.
A couple South African riders in. They're excited to be here tonight.
That's a beautiful country. Well, parts of it are a beautiful country. I was fortunate enough to do Cape Town and the whole garden route, which is truly one of the wonders of the world. Spent almost 3 weeks there. It was just absolutely gorgeous. The different terrains, the different biospheres.
And here come the riders. They head into turn 4. A little bit closer than that camera angle gives you.
Webster in the dark. He looks very comfortable holding that lead. Got out of the saddle. He's going high.
Took a gander back.
He wants to get that big grind like a 200, and there he hits his line for the 200 time. And he's just riding at 200 right now. He had so much room and so much of a comfort level.
Gave it a run at the end, but
Yes,
going to come up short is Brister.
Brister
Webster wins it.
Brister thought he may have had a little bit more room. He wanted to take advantage of that slipstream that was created, but just not enough. Webster, quick as a wick, right? Quick as a wick, they say?
I guess. Brister is going to go against Dawkins then, I guess, for 3rd and 4th would be my guess. Now here's a look at the final. He did make it a lot closer, Gary, at the end.
Yes, he did. And he was going faster at the end because he passed him after the finish line. But that doesn't count.
No, it doesn't.
Mental notes for next time.
Mellon will go against Webster.
I believe we'll have a real treat coming up in this next one. It's a men's 15-kilometer scratch race. And among the riders, world champion in the individual pursuit, Ashton Lambie from Nebraska. He's only on his, just into his 3rd year. He's just barely got 2 full years of track cycling under his belt. Came from the gravel riding. There he is.
Men or the women, I want to make
Ashton
sure.
with his trademark mustache, signature mustache, number 83. Lives in Nebraska. Just missed all the flooding there. He just lived above the flooding, but the farms around where he lived got flooded. I was talking to him earlier. He said his garlic crop is really slow because the ground is all mush.
Oh, that's a shame. Any of those things happening, very difficult for folks.
You depend on farming. Any damage to your crops is too much.
It's huge.
As the farmers around here can certainly attest.
Yeah, well, spring, a little bit too rough.
Okay, we call this is a 50-kilometer scratch race, which will be 45 laps.
They're checking bib numbers there. Another great camera shot again from across the track into the infield where they have all the tents for the athletes.
I like it. It looks like they're going to start from the infield as opposed to starting from the wall. Not in this race, but here tonight is 3-time Olympian Bobby Lee, who had retired from cycling. Bobby is here tonight. He's supposed to be riding in the Madison. He had originally planned to be in this race, but for some reason couldn't show up in time for the qualifying this morning. There's been racing going on here all day.
Riders getting set. They're checking the numbers. In this race, it's supposed to be Steven Van Herden. And I had a chance to talk to Steven on the way in. He's excited to be here. Said it's going to be a good season. He'll be here for a couple of weeks, riding, trying to pick up points. You know, the year out from the Olympics, as we noted. Vincent Dihatre, Jamal Eastman, Eric Young, Ryan Jastrow, Jared Germain, Edwin Sutherland, Ruben Ramos, Jackson Kinneberg, Derek Gee, John Crom, Tristan Vanderfield, Josh Duffy, Joshua Van Wyck, Kemp Orozco, Michael Astel, Nicholas Baker, and Jovian Gomez. In the I'm going to assume that is the first heat. Are they all going at one time? They're all going at one time. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the guys. They're going to start actually on the railing. Yeah. And the next set, who will be on the blue band, will be Ashton Lambie, Juan Esteban Arango, Nicholas Kurgozu, Gavin Hoover, Stephen Hall, Akeel Campbell, Shane Klein, a familiar name out here at Valley Preferred, Alex Brewer, Marvin Orlando Angarita, Thomas Rotherham, Lucas Strain, Michael Foley, Clever Martinez, Justin Wood Savage, Aiden Caves, Tyler Cole, Ian Ulrich, and Andrew Bernstein rounding out the second crew starting down on the blue. So we get a shot from the track. There you see a bunch of riders out there, Gary.
It's loaded. That is a big field. One of the cooler names is not for number 126, Clever Martinez. That's just one of those names that you wish you had. Clever.
Clever, certainly.
I wish I had.
Is he a clever rider?
I wish that was my nickname.
There you go. Here they go. Looks like the start of the New York Marathon. Our stat guy, Jim Millets, is going to be in that one day, the New York Marathon.
And one of the other interesting names here is Tristan Manderfield, number 110, USA rider. He rides for U.S. military endurance sports. I wonder if he's actually in the military, and this is part of his
duty.
They're part of their athletic endeavors.
Right. There they go. 45 laps. There's Sally Urfer. She's looking at the start. Looks good, and she gives the gun.
And we're off for 45 laps. Almost like a Tour de France of Trexlertown.
Oh, there you go.
Tour of Trexlertown.
Except we can see them all the whole way around the track.
There is some beauty in that.
I totally agree. Last week, Jimmy Grell had us some great shots from a drone high above Valley Preferred. Actually, you mentioned a couple times when they gave us that nice high shot, we could really see the field. That would be kind of really neat here to see them coming down that backstretch from up above.
Yeah, the mass, it's just the sheer numbers in the race. It just looks so spectacular. You get to see all the splashes of color, the different jerseys, the different color bikes.
It's neat to see things from a different viewpoint than you have normally walking the ground. My daughter Natalie had her telescope out last night. We were getting some great looks at the moon around 11 o'clock at night. Night's crisp, clear night, maybe tonight, who knows. She wanted to get up at 4 o'clock to see Mars, I think, was on the docket, but didn't make it.
Mars was a good view all of last year.
Here they go. A little bit too early to call. Not a whole lot to worry about. Tristan Manderfield takes a pull, now drops up high on the track. Field stretched out. They almost have the entire backstretch covered, Gary.
It was the entire backstretch. This is really interesting watching it. You can't. This may be a rite of attrition. Each rider taking their turns with a pull.
I didn't want to shortchange it. 36 riders. So if we would get 70 riders out there, they probably could go from turn to turn.
Probably. Aiden Caves led the last lap.
Now I'm going to get you, Cole, who's leading that one, because
that was Michael Foley, I believe.
Somebody's passing somebody if we have 70 riders out on the track.
I thought Michael Foley from Canada had the lead on that one. I'm not sure who's out front now.
See if somebody tries to take a flyer 39 laps to go a little bit early for that to happen.
Up to the top.
Nope. Gives up the lead. Now, it'll be interesting, Gary, as we note sometime, 3 riders now. They're pushing to get, but now here they come. They're just reeling them right in. Nobody has a chance right now to pull out.
No, even from the back of the field, because they can just leapfrog, kind of like island hopping from one rider to the next to get back towards the front. And no one's going to take a long pull. And again, that was at Aiden Caves again up front. Lead going into this lap.
I haven't heard a bell for a preem either. That usually changes the scenario a bit.
I don't believe they can call preems during UCI races.
Okay, so that's
they
good.
may, but might be against the spirit of what the points are for. There's Tyler Cole from Trinidad there with the lead pull. And again, everyone's just taking turns. We have a little bit of a flyer here. Rider in green and black.
Catches number.
White helmet. Just That's rider 78. That's Stephen Van Heerden from South Africa.
There he goes. Can he lead out 36 laps?
He's opened up a gap.
He didn't tell me he was going to do this, by the way.
Yeah, he may not be able to hold it with the strength of this field. But he's got to take his flyer. He said, "This is going too slow for me. I need to go. I need to get my legs going."
He didn't have any trouble carrying his bike in.
Alex Brewer, an unattached rider from the United States, he's leading the charge to try and reel him back in green. Field seems content. They don't think that the move is going to stick. They think he's going to burn out. They're just slowly closing in on him.
He looked like he already kind of slowed down Van Heerden.
Yeah. That's rider number 3, Shane Klein, who's leading the charge, leading that group back.
With 34 laps to go, Gary, how much of a lead, if he gets a half-track lead, can he hold that on? Do you think that's enough? No.
Riding all by yourself,
yeah,
that's what you call suffering, is how long can you suffer?
Now here comes a couple more riders breaking from the track, or from the peloton. But I don't know that they're going to be able to get away.
That's Marvin Orlando and Garita from Colombia. Colombian riders are very good at these races. He can't be overlooked. They made a little statement in the women's race earlier.
Now Van Heerden dropping back, and no one's going to keep it. And the peloton has caught our lead riders. So Van Heerden pushed the pace a little bit there, but now even he goes top track.
And Garita is now in a group of 3 riders in the lead.
Service Electric out everywhere in the community. Reading fills this weekend, a home. So you can catch the Reading fills.
Stephen Hall, our rider of the year from last year from Australia, he's up in that lead group now. Lead group of 5, but 2 more catching him, and there's a whole other bridge group ready to close in on him. And Stephen Hall now at the lead, coming down from the top of the track. Stephen Hall in the red.
Now here is a group of 3 with 30 laps to go. They're going to try to press the issue as they head into turn 3 and 4. Stephen Hall with that group of riders. But nope, nobody can make the move, Gary. There's a little short run. Actually, Van Heerden made the longest
Everybody
push.
Everybody wants to be there. Nobody wants to be the one to do that suffering out front all by themselves.
And nobody has, attrition has not taken anyone out of the field yet.
And here again, we've got another flyer coming down the bottom of the track, going into turn 3. That is rider number 81, and that is...
I hate to say it, not listed. Like
81, it could be 87, could be Gavin Hoover.
Okay.
It looked like 81.
Well, we know it's not Herbert Hoover, so that's for sure. Let's see if we can nab a number. That's 82.
Okay, so that's Andrew Bernstein.
But even Andrew can't hang on. He's going to go up top. 27 laps to go. Wow, look at that down the backstretch. 4 or 5 riders across the track. That's rare also to see.
Everyone's just having some fun with this, being in a group. But we do have the rider out front now. He's passed 1 rider.
And our judge, Sally Urfer, should be pointing to the leader, and she does so right there.
That has to be rider number 87.
Or 82. That's the difficulty. Could be Andrew Bernstein.
I believe that is Gavin Hoover.
It could be Hoover or Bernstein would be my guess. It's 87. You were correct, partner.
He's adjusting his glasses. Got time to take a quick look over what's going on.
Sell a couple vacuums.
How much can I hurt? Almost at the halfway
But he's coming after him. Cranking it up. And actually the group looks like they've lost a little steam. Sun out. Turn 2 and 3.
And Hoover takes a look across, sees where everybody is. not concerned with the rider behind him.
They could work together.
And it could be Derek Guy from Canada.
Hoover gaining Gary on the pack. Now, what if he laps the pack for a scratch race?
He's the leader.
He's the leader.
It's a scratch race. The lap doesn't matter. The only thing the lap matters in is that he's ahead of everybody else. It looks like he's kind of letting up a little bit here. Guy's pressing on, trying to catch him.
Hoover down the backstretch. Oh,
But the peloton is so far. Tristan Manderfield from the U.S. military in third, leading that pack. He's broken away from the peloton.
Hoover almost a half-track lead on the larger body of riders. But now we can see him easing up.
And you can see Guy right on him.
So we'll see if Guy and Hoover now can draft one another out. Another rider tries to crawl into
We've
the
got the
race.
We've got the peloton really starting to try and catch up now.
Is that Ryan Jastrab was rider number, the third rider trying to get into the mix? But here they go. They are definitely working together.
That's the best
Taking
way
turns
to do
on
it.
the pull. Let's see what happens. 20 laps to go.
Suffering so much easier when you're suffering with someone and not complaining about it. So we have Tristan Manderfield still up in that lead positioning with about fourth place.
But now the peloton has lost a little steam. I think
It's almost
a
a
little
half
ahead.
lap.
Yep.
It's almost a half lap now, and having two people to contend with it up front, it makes it a lot easier mentally for you.
They are down the backstretch heading into turn 4, our leaders. Peloton now just heading down the backstretch.
This is just the training ride, saying keep up, let's go. One rider can work hard, one rider can look and say push.
18 laps to go.
We're starting to see a separation here in the leaders now, though. The tandem work there is starting to fall apart a little bit.
They gained a little as the peloton, but the peloton spread out toward the back.
And Guy's, there we go. Hoover's back on Guy's wheel. Guy appeared to be pulling away, whether Hoover needed a little bit of a break. He's back up there now. That's a very long pull for Guy up ahead. Now, Guy goes to relinquish the lead, and Hoover won't have it. Hoover wants to conserve energy by staying behind the wheel of Guy, and that may doom this effort. 16 laps to go. The peloton has now closed the gap to less than that half lap again.
But now they got to be looking at the lap counter, Gary, I would think.
Oh yeah, they know.
Because
they know where
they're down
at.
to where maybe they can make a run now. 15 laps to go.
5 kilometers to go. It's not too big a gap to overcome, but they've got to work together, and there's a little bit of reluctance there on Hoover's part to work with Guy. Guy tried to swing up, let Hoover take a pull, but Hoover wouldn't have it. And
Now,
Hoover's still on the wheel.
Interesting, though, Gary, no one in the peloton is sort of leading the peloton in the chase charge. Look at everybody's up top. Now you have a new rider dropping down on the bottom to try and push the peloton.
Shane Klein is in that peloton, and it wouldn't surprise me to see with about 1.5 kilometers with like 5-6 laps to go, to see that acceleration, to see the peloton just make a big surge.
Andrew Bernstein took the lead on the peloton for a short spell there.
Because you have two guys expending a lot of energy out front. You've still got this huge, long train of riders who are all kind of working together almost.
But they're back now to a half-track lead.
And I think they saw the tail and saw what was happening and decided to speed it up. Now they're working together again. Hoover finally takes a pull.
They're friends, but in about 10 laps, they're going to not be so. They're not going to be so tight anymore.
It's going to be what they say in those WWE things. It will be mayhem. They're getting closer to the tail of that pack. They're down to about 1/3 behind the tail of the pack.
Here comes another rider. A rider on the storm coming around turn 4. He's going to try to join our two leaders, Hoover and Guy, and that is one Esteban Arango.
They're starting to realize, the peloton's realizing how far they're getting ahead and how much time is left in their actual race part.
Only 11 laps to go.
This is less than a 3-kilometer pursuit.
The peloton, Gary,
And
is
now
out
you
of gas.
see people flying out of the peloton.
Okay.
Here it comes. 10 laps to go. They know they have to turn it on.
So it's a bunch of guys now trying to rally and jump.
I don't know if that was Steven Van Herten.
Yeah, I couldn't tell. He's in blue, though. I don't think it's him. They are almost going to catch the peloton, Gary. They are on their tail now.
Yeah, it could have been Ruben Ramos.
Now they're going to hide. Here they come. They've really caught the peloton. Arango tries to join it.
Guy is not waiting for Hoover. Guy wants to get into that mix and use the other riders. He felt
There
he
he
did
goes.
enough work.
Guy now passes 1, 2. Hoover tries to reel in 1. He's going to do it. He stays on Guy's wheel. They are in the backstretch. They're heading into turn 3. 7 laps to go.
He is using the rider in front of him to catch a little bit of energy conservation.
He's passed 3 riders. No, 2 riders, I guess. But now Hoover's lost. He drops back behind the 2 in the pack.
And
Guy making the big move.
Part of Hoover dropping back was he couldn't get around the rider, didn't have the energy to negotiate or navigate around him, and that slowed him down tremendously.
Guy following, drafting super in behind the peloton. He's not even going to make any moves. He's going to just try and maybe duck it out for 6 riders. See if he does anything in turn 3 and 4. Guy moves up to the middle of the track. Fans cheering him on.
This is a smart ride. It was a gutsy ride for sure. Great time to take it. Ashton
Now
Lambie is in the mix.
Gary made a big move. He's going up down the backstretch. He's passed 2, 3, 4 guys. There he is now high on the track. He wants to take the whole peloton.
And Ashton Lambie accelerated here, but he's still far behind.
The crowd rooting Guy on to take the whole field.
He's got a Canadian up front. If he can catch his Canadian, his countryman, he's going to have an easy ride over the final couple laps.
4 laps to go.
And now his countryman pulls up. Let's see what happens here. They're opening up the door down the middle.
Derek Guy tries to lap the peloton.
And he's pretty close to it.
He's drafting out 3 riders. I can't even find who was behind him.
6,
Hoover
7,
was the
8,
only
9,
one on his tail.
10, 11, I think he's about 12th in the peloton right now.
Hoover and Arango, nowhere to be found. They're picking up turkey barbecue over at the A-Treat snack stand.
And there's Hoover. He's almost at the lead of the peloton now with his Canadian countryman dropping down to give him a little bit of a helping draft. Now they just closed the door on Hoover. I hear some whistles blowing.
There it is, the bell lap. Our first rider has dropped off on the apron.
He's safely tucked in, but nobody's going to catch him. There's absolutely nobody else going to lap into it like he did.
Great run by Derek Guy. Goes across the finish line and waited. I think, Gary, his game plan there was perfect for that ride.
Yeah, he did. He just timed it right, and then when he needed help, when Hoover stopped giving him help, I think he just decided, I'm going to have to stop working with this guy. I'm going to have to do it on my own. I have to catch that field. And he caught the field, and he just accelerated into the field, and he basically hid from everybody else. No one could work off him. He could work off everyone else.
But the good news, for the first time this season, he couldn't hide from us. Now the women are going to come out, I hope, for a scratch race. Are they assembling the ladies? We've got 30 laps, 10 kilometers.
I believe we're going to be going to the 3rd semifinal.
Oh, okay.
Of sprint semifinal.
Missed that. Sorry, folks.
We did the women's scratch race earlier in the evening before we were on.
if required. So this one is required. This is the guys where they load them up.
So this will be the women. It will be Mandy Marquardt versus Caitlin Ward from Australia for the right to race Lauriane Genet for the gold medal.
So we had a throw in because that match even at 1 apiece.
Ward won the first.
Genet won 2-0. Ward won, and then Marquardt won.
Now Marquardt has the lower position on the track to start.
Now, last time where they switched was
Yes.
Marquardt on top. So now they go back.
Correct.
Aha. Positioning important for 2 sports you cover, wrestling and cycling. How about that? A lot of commonalities, Gary, what you covered.
On the bottom in wrestling is parterre. Defensive position.
Potential rule change. I don't know if you heard. They're thinking of going from 14 weight classes to 12.
Yes. Not so much a rule change, but just a allowance change. And I like it. There's just too many. 14 is too many. It's been too many. There's so many forfeits.
Yes.
I guess the real arguing is where they added the weight and where they took it off. The lighter kids don't have a weight to compete at now. They got rid of the lowest weight class, and that's offered some bones of contention because there are seniors who don't make that weight. Reach that weight. So they're afraid that some of the lighter kids won't have a place to wrestle.
A couple McDonald's milkshakes will take care of that. But anyway, here we go. It's Marquardt and Ward. They're tied at 1 apiece. Marquardt has the lead. Ward's on her tail. They head into turn 2 and now down the backstretch.
Remember, Marquardt stretched this out from the beginning of the last lap. This one, she took her time because she's in the lead position. Now we see a big move from behind by Ward, but it's going to be enough. She's got over the top.
Ward knows they're almost a copy of the last match, but the riders were flipped around.
And a little bit shorter sprint race because Mandy really opened it up to start of that second lap in the second ride. This one, she didn't really accelerate. She was confident. She thought she could hold her off. But Ward used that slipstream in the third and fourth turns to rocket ahead.
So it'll be Ward taking on Genet in the final.
And that will be Marquardt versus Andrews. And Elise, last week, Elise Andrews set the flying 1-lap record. So it's going to be interesting to see for this track. So it's going to be interesting to see her strategy going against Marquardt in that race.
I'm not saying anything. I'm going to wait and see who shows up on the track. My stat guy, Jim Millets, taking care of me. And when he throws his hands up in the air, now I know I'm in trouble. It should be a little bit of an exhibition lap by the Pee Wee Peddlers.
And this is good. It's interesting because James Mellon came through all these programs here at the Velodrome from Pee Wee Peddlers, from BRL and Air Products program to now own the track record. It's just a truly amazing success story.
But you won't see Mellon with these riders. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more cycling here on 2 Sports from the Valley Preferred Cycling Center. And there you see it. We're at the Valley Preferred Cycling Center and a future James Mellon, Gary, coming out on those doors. And I was impressed. We had a couple riders up high on the track.
Yes, and there she is. She's good. It's amazing. This is the most grassroots of all grassroots programs. These kids are barely out of training wheels. Some still in training wheels when they do this, and they do a wonderful job here. Here's our girl. You're going to see her go high on the track, but they just do a wonderful job teaching them how to pedal, teaching them how to turn, teaching them how to make big skids on use their brakes properly. There she goes up to the top of the track. It's just so much fun to watch. As a parent, I watch my kids go through this. You watch the other kids go through it. It's just so much fun, and it's a big smile for everybody.
We were wondering if she's collecting creams in turn 3 and 4 because
she has that little basket.
Yeah, a little basket on her. So we'll have to throw that out to the Valley Preferred. They can collect creams. I also like the Pee Wee Peddlers helmets. That Ninja Turtle one was pretty. That was pretty slick.
Yes, that was kind of scary if you think about it.
All right, and here are the guys. This is Brister and Dawkins. Is that?
That's Brister with the lead on this one, and you can see how nice and slow and methodical this is. Dawkins.
Again, they'll do 3 races. They have to win 2.
Dawkins, part of those amazing New Zealand team sprints, multiple-time world champion in it. So he's very comfortable. He's very comfortable at this track. He's very comfortable with this style of racing.
Brister is number 29. Dawkins is number 65.
So looking to white and yellow versus white and black.
They'll get the bell as they come around turn 3 and 4.
Dawkins not in the typical all-black New Zealand kit. We're going to see a little zip-zap here. A little bit of dicey dice. And we're going. Sprint is on. Who's going to do what? And then we saw a move there where Dawkins wanted to dive down and go take that bottom lane, but he's going over the top. He's doing it the hard way. That's a long way in 2 and 3, and 3 and 4. Oh, and he couldn't catch him.
Couldn't catch him.
Brister made him ride the far way, the longer distance by keeping him up high. Refused to, made him look like he could sneak down the bottom. Didn't give it to him. Slowed down that effort. And then when he forced Dawkins up on top, Dawkins just couldn't get around fast enough.
Dawkins did a little Trexlertown 2-step though. He went up, down, up, and it didn't work out for him.
Yeah, we saw that move happen earlier today with the Mandy Marquardt, and it worked. I think he may have seen that and thought, that might be an opportune time to do that right now. Brister had none of it though. Brister
hey,
saw
what
it,
do you
slammed
say?
the door.
Here come 1 and 2. James Mellon.
Now going against Sam Webster. Webster number 72, Mellon.
That ever popular number 107.
Webster is another one of those members of the world champion New Zealand sprint team sprint.
You know, if Mellon's trying out for a baseball team and he shows up in Florida and they hand him a jersey with 107 on, he's pretty much packing his car. So, not the same in cycling. Although there are jerseys, though, Gary, that winners get, right? They do signify champions, red, white, and blue, etc.
Well, yeah, there are the Stars and Stripes jerseys of the United States national champions. There are similar jerseys of countries' flags or colors for other countries. Then there's the World Championship jersey, which are the rainbow jerseys. So you see a rainbow jersey racing, they're racing as a world champion in their event, which is pretty awesome when you see it. Then when you do the tours, the grand tours like the Tour de France, the Giro Italia, there are certain different jerseys that signify, like King of the Mountain would be pink polka dot jerseys, or in Tour de France, the yellow jersey. Everyone knows yellow jersey is the leader's jersey.
Here they go, little dueling.
James is putting on a little show here, playing a little up and down, trying to make Mr. Webster figure out what he's going to do. Mr. Webster wants to match his move. Mellon knows he's fast. Mellon's raced him before.
There goes Mellon, drops down low.
Mellon takes the low road.
Wow, big drop in turn 2.
Webster trying to take that line for the flying 200, content to go up to the top, but Mellon's got position. Mellon takes it.
Wow, and he takes it by almost a bike length.
Mellon saw what Webster was trying to do, trying to line up for that flying 200 time where you're going to get your fastest time in the closing 200, and he dropped down behind him, cut down his distance, still had the acceleration coming off the curve, and zipped it home.
I don't know about you, but I'll pick it.
There you see him drop down coming out of turn 2, and he just takes that sprinter's lane. He's already at full speed there, and he just kept it going.
Mellon's going to not have to worry about the Triple Crown. He is going to win the first 2 legs of this race. And they're not doing the Preakness, although the real Preakness is on Saturday, and we'll see what horses. A little 10-horse field, I think.
I think that season is very disappointing from the Kentucky Derby on, just with the race reversal and just terrible. Just not fun to watch.
Not what we expected. Yeah, they took a lot of steam out of it.
Kano are coming up for rides 3rd and 4th place.
Marquardt and Andrews hit the track. Marquardt in the blue, Andrews in the darker blue.
Yes, and
This is for 3rd and 4th place. This again will be 3 races. You got to win 2. Sally Erfer up on the track.
Marquardt is our hometown girl. Andrews owns the flying lap record set last week. So she knows what this track is capable of. She's already figured out the lines, the best lines to go. Now she's in the sprint tournament, going for 3rd and 4th against the hometown girl. Marquardt taking the lead on this one, being very cautious. I don't think she wants this one to be a long sprint, not knowing what Andrews did last week.
They'll play hide the bike as they go down the backstretch.
Yeah, we have to come up with some new terminology. Since they took the track stands away in the sprint, there's always a little bit of cat and mouse, but the track stands used to like really bring out the hoots and hollers where the bikes would just stand and they'd balance on their pedals and not move. Marquardt still looking for that move from Andrews. She's shortening up the sprint, she knows it. She's both of the riders out of the saddle, but Andrews takes the lead down the backstretch. She just hit an acceleration point, and I don't know if Marquardt can catch her.
She's taking a big lead heading into turn 4. Not going to catch her. Andrews coast.
I wouldn't say she cut her napping, but Mandy was slow to react to that jump. They both got out of the saddle, but it seemed like Andrews' legs were going just a little bit faster, like maybe just a tad smaller gear and just enough to get it rolling faster and keep it going. And Mandy couldn't get hers powered up fast enough.
And now we'll bring out 1 and 2. This will be Janae and Ward. Janae number 22, Ward number 16. A little quick shout out to a colleague, Inez and Luis Echeverria. Their daughters graduating, as many high schoolers are, from Allentown Central Catholic. And moving on to Muhlenberg College. A nice pick for the twins. Congratulations to the Echeverria family.
Absolutely. It's 2 out of the nest, but not far from home.
Not far from home, yes. A lot of good schools right here in the Lehigh Valley.
Yes, there are.
Great college selections.
This area is certainly blessed with the number of colleges and the variety of colleges, from community colleges to excellent academic institutions to the athletic programs offered with Division III, Division II, and Division I programs. It's got something for everyone.
Here we go. Ward and Janae. Ward at number 16. Leading it out.
And she's the one who defeated Marquardt in their semifinals, which took 3 rides. So she might not have as much starch in her legs as Janae, who did it in straight rides against Andrews, which kind of showed in that first race for 3rd and 4th. Andrews had just a little bit more.
And now, question, Gary. That in cycling, that's an important question we never talked about. So, is it better to get that extra break?
Oh, yes, it is.
Okay, all right.
It's always
so
better.
No question.
The more efforts, the more it takes out of your legs. Now we're going to a track stand here. I just said they don't do them very often. We have both riders stop. It's one of those most enjoyable things to watch in the sprint. People say, but they're stopped. But it's a pure display of their power, their strength, their confidence that they can go from standing still to race full time. Now we've got a double gun.
Somebody did something not correct. We're going to have to sort this out.
I don't know if maybe there was a mechanical with the disc wheel or whether you are required to maintain a walking pace, and they may have violated that. But it looks like it might be coming to check mechanical issue with the bike. I don't know.
We could go.
Yeah.
Cassie.
She didn't hit the pit, so.
No, she didn't. Still coasting around. I don't know. We'll have to get a ruling. Restart.
Yeah, we're doing a restart, so they may have violated that walking rule where they stop too long.
Yeah.
Here we go. We are waiting for our second rider to get back. And here she is. Miss Janae is back at the top of the track for the start. Sally Erfer,
I'm on the color. You guys know.
our judge, she's explaining some things. So they could have violated that rule about not doing track stands or just slowing their pace too long, because they were slowed down for quite a few seconds, and if someone was able to walk past them.
Now, why have they eliminated track stands, Gary? Did they feel
I'm not
danger?
sure.
Was it
Time
dangerous?
element, sometimes danger. Sometimes the best person didn't always win because they got a little bit of bravado.
Right. So that brought in another skill set that maybe not all the riders have.
Right.
Track standing.
I think they want. I think sometimes it's not great for the general public when you're here for a long time, or they want things to move around.
They were going too slow, as determined by. I think you called that.
And here we go. We are off. And Ward trying to stretch it out, trying to make this a long sprint. Although with Janae having that more rest, I wouldn't think that's a wise move.
And Janae is making the move over the top now as they head into turn 4 with a lap to go. They'll get the bell.
This is it. And Janae just pleases by her. And again, I didn't think it was a wise move for Miss Ward to make it a long sprint, coming off 3 rides versus 2 rides for Janae. And Janae takes that one rather easily.
Here's a look. She really got the jump on her and never got back into play.
Yeah, I mean, just look at her throwing her bike back and forth, like just being able to power pedal, and that acceleration and that long sprint just is so much. And you can see now when Janae was throwing her bike, it was very purposeful. When Ward's throwing her bike there, it's more frantic, like trying to catch up.
And we're going to send it trackside for the first time to Cassie Schmidt. She's with one of our winners tonight.
Thanks, guys. Down here with Derek G., the winner of our men's scratch race. So first and foremost, Derek, how you feeling after this one?
Feels pretty good, yeah. I mean, it was definitely a hard race, but it's nice to take it home.
Yeah, 45 laps, quite a good amount of laps. Talk strategy with me. What really were you thinking kind of headed into that race?
Yeah, I mean, I knew it was a really good field. Yeah, T-Town this year has a lot of really great riders, and I knew there were a lot of guys that could beat me in a sprint, so I really wanted to get ahead of the race, and yeah, I managed to put a little bit of distance between me and the guy with me coming into the final laps.
Yeah, around 20, you and Hoover kind of started to go back and forth there for a little bit, but then 6 and 7 laps left is when you really started to make that final push. Was that your goal going into this?
Yeah, I mean, I knew about Gavin Hoover. He's part of the U.S. Team Pursuit team. I'm part of the Canadian Team Pursuit team. I see him around the World Cup circuit, so I knew he was a good guy to be up there with. And yeah, I felt pretty good with 6 to 7 to go, and saw like I could maybe get a little gap on him, and managed to hold it.
Now, like you said before we were on camera, this is your first time here in T-Town. How you feeling? What do you like about it?
Yeah, I'm loving it. I've heard a lot about it, and it's really lived up to the hype. I mean, the crowds are amazing, the atmosphere is amazing, and I mean, I've never been a domestic level race with this kind of an atmosphere.
Well, we're happy to have you here. Congratulations again.
Thanks a lot.
All right, guys, back up to you.
Thanks, Cassie. Great coverage there of Derek Gee. That was a great win, Gary. Even in all the years I've been here, I love to see it, except for the Germans. I always go back to the Germans. They were the ones that were able to catch. It's so rare that the peloton gets passed, and he really punched in there and kind of hid. A lot of strategy on Gee's part.
Yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing, when he did it, why he did it. He hit it, saw a move go. He tried to go with the move when it was appropriate, not forced it, when it felt good for his legs. And then when he didn't get any help with the person he was had broken away with, he just decided to himself, I'm going to take this. And he did. He when he hit that peloton, he just weaved right through it. He hit it determined to power through it. And the rider trailing him just hit it trying to hoping to keep up, and he couldn't do it.
And now we have a fan favorite. It's the Madison, and I'll turn it over to my partner to explain. We have teams. This is the Elite Women in this run tonight, and we have several teams. The team number 65, Jessica Pera, Janine Melena Salcedo. They are riding in 65. 66 is Ryan Kendall, Megan Jastrup. Megan Jastrup,
threw myself a curveball. And 68 looks like Christina Birch, Kim Geist, Colleen Gulick, and Maggie Coles-Leister. 68, 69 looks like Elspeth Hewlett and Megan Grant. These are all familiar local riders. They must have just come out here tonight for the Madison.
Well, some of them are. Some of them are incredible. Columbia, Para, and Salcedo, they're tremendous riders. Then you have USA's, we got our own Kim Geist, who's also got a master's degree, riding with Christina Birch, who's got a PhD.
Right, I think that's Kim Geist.
That's
right
Kim Geist right there at the top of the track, getting some instructions.
And let me go through quick. 70 is Nicole Shields and Amber Joseph. 71 is Samantha Ogle and Shanae Fulton. So we have, as my count, if everybody's out there, it looks like 7 teams, but that looks like a little more than 17.
Yeah, I believe we have Jessica Chong and Devaney Collier as another team, and from Canada we've got Allison Beveridge, I believe, and Stephanie Ruerda.
And they were kind of scratched, but looks like they're back in the race.
It's we had 3 teams scratch, but it looks like they're all out there now, which
not sure why that happened. 60 laps to go.
This is a points race. It's called the Madison. Internationally, they call it the American. It's founded on Madison Square. What racing style happened in Madison Square Garden. It's kind of tag team racing. You've got one set of racers actively racing, while their partner is passively riding towards the top of the track. At given intervals, they will do an exchange. To actually a tag team, you grab the rider's hand and by a hand sling, throw them back in, which can be dangerous at times depending on what's happening in the race. Every few laps, there will be race for points. You'll hear a bell, and the riders will contest for points. And usually you try to make an exchange going into that, so you got fresh legs sprinting for the points that give you the lead.
And the riders wearing black and red numbers, of course matching numbers, rider 67. So our other riders that we didn't have in originally, Team 64 is Victoria's Sarah Bester with Danielle Van Niekerk. Also Gary mentioned Allison Beveridge and Stephanie Ruerda. Jessica Chong and Devaney Collier are riders number 73.
And I always like Jessica Chong's story because she was a triathlete and she just found the bike something that she fell in love with, and she stuck with it. And she's gone from being a competitive triathlete to a very successful bike rider.
There's a nice little hand slinging.
Yeah, sometimes it's gentle, sometimes it's a little push, sometimes it's a true forearm grab, forearm grasp, and fling into. So the power of the exchange often varies. Sometimes it really does slingshot you into the race. You're going to see one that just grasp hands, give a little momentum going in.
I think that looks scary when you're in the group. Again, some great camera shots. Our crew here tonight.
And here's
manning the cameras
for laps. Looks like Kim Geist leading this pack.
Points. Here's our camera crew for tonight. Doug Long, Farm Long, Trevor Huffman, Chuck Wagner, and Spencer Coons out there giving us all these views.
That's a big flyer there. Good sprint. We have Kim Geist taking second points, but it was either Kendall Ryan or Megan Jastrab there. Couldn't tell whether she was black or red.
Well, Jastrab's in the red. I think Kendall Ryan was the one that bagged the points, followed by Christina Birch and Kim Geist, and then Colleen Gulick, Maggie Coles-Leister, and our fourth team, Nicole Shields and Amber Joseph, number 70.
So the first sprint is in the books. The points are up. Team 66 with the lead over Team 67. Team 68.
Couple of riders very close. Everybody remaining in the field. You see the hands reach back. There's a little sling in.
Again, another one of our own riders, Colleen Gulick, from Team Pickle Juice, they're calling it.
Sounds like something organic from my chair.
It is an actual thing. It's a product, Pickle Juice. They use it like the days of the 2000 Philadelphia Eagles. And to prevent cramping, to replace electrolytes.
I wonder if they have bread and butter pickle juice. I'd go for that.
I'd go for the kosher garlic.
Kosher garlic. I don't know what our stat guy would like. I don't know what pickle juice our stat guy would like. Yeah, he's saying none.
He says kettle pickle juice.
Kettle pickle juice. Hers kettle pickle juice.
We're coming up on the second lap sprint. Again, that's Christina Birch leading for Team 67.
Want to welcome any new viewers.
She's intent on grabbing some points, some of the top 2 points here, and she made
she
a nice
goes.
move.
She split 2 riders, punched it through. And there goes, that was Colleen Gulick.
Yep.
Team Pickle Juice. No sour run that time around. So Pickle Juice takes the large points. Christina Birch, Kim
And she's
Geist
keeping
at
the pace
second.
up. She's starting to stretch the field. She's picking the pace up. I think it's Birch behind her. And Birch from Geist.
And then Nicole Shields, Gary, picked up some points with Amber Joseph. Try and get some leaders.
I know they're, I believe it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So top 5 all place points.
Sling in, Colleen
Big effort
Gulick's
there
team.
from the Colombian team.
That's a good pairing, Colleen Gulick and Maggie Coles-Leister. That's a couple of good riders.
Yeah. So I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the Birch Geist combination.
Want to welcome any new subscribers to Service Electric TV. I don't know why you haven't been with us, but welcome. Valley Preferred Cycling Center, seen exclusively here on 2 Sports. You can catch highlights the Valley Preferred on Sports Scene. 6 and 9 o'clock. The 2 Sports crew will be out all across the Lehigh Valley, covering any and every sporting event
There's
in the area.
exchange by the South African team.
And another point lap ring. Gulick holding on out in front. They're going to try, or that's Birch and Geist.
That's Birch,
now.
yeah, Birch, I believe. I see the South African team there, but I'm not sure what place they're moving up the track, so they're running in last, pretty much. And Birch with a real dogged effort here to try and keep this lead. Somebody's coming over the top. Not sure if that was Team 69.
Well, we got him, yes. Actually, it's Team 66. Picked up the early points. Ryan Kendall, Megan Jastrab.
So that's their second lap victory.
Elspeth Hewlett, Megan Grant, second. Then Christina Birch and Kim Geist, third. So they did pick up some more points. And I'm going to guess Jessica Chong and Devaney Collier must be number 74. We had them down as 73, but they've got to be 74.
So Birch, Geist, and Kendall and Jastrab, Ryan and Jastrab have all placed the first 3 sprints.
You want to keep it close? 43 laps to go.
I like the bumblebee stripes of Team 70, Nicole Shields and Amber Joseph.
There you can see the bikes. And Gary, you talk about the carbon fiber wheels right there. 4 or 5 of them now on the screen.
It used to be rare to see them. Now it's de rigueur. They're just there all the time.
Now, question for the viewers too. One carbon fiber in the front wheel always spoked? Or is anybody riding with double carbons?
There have been double carbons. What happens with that is, especially on a velodrome, you get these crosswinds on a windy day. It just wreaks havoc with your stability on some when the wind comes across. That's why they keep windmills. It had been done. People had been doing it, but they found it was just too difficult. Indoor velodromes, you will see it.
Here we go, bell lap. More points coming your way.
Coming up, firing through the team with the pink helmets, team number 74. That would be Jessica Chong and Devaney Collier taking that sprint.
They were followed by 66. That is Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab. Then Colleen Gulick, Maggie Coles-Leister fourth. And the last points picked up are Christina Birch and Kim Geis. So a lot of the same teams have picked up points. We're going to take a breather. The riders are going to keep going, though. I guarantee it. Back to the Valley Preferred Cycling Center with more after this message. There you see them. They've been riding and riding and riding. We're down to 17 laps. We'll give you the point leaders in a second.
It's twilight in T-Town, and the lights are on, the riders are riding, the racers are racing, and the Madison is going full bore here.
They come around. It'll be a points lap very shortly. There it is.
Here we go. Team number 65 getting on it. That is Jessica Parra and Jenny Molina Salcido from Colombia.
But it is Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab, number 66, leading with 24 points. 67 is Christina Birch and Kim Geis. They have 18 points. Very tight race. Also, Colleen Gulick and Maggie Coles-Leister, the Pickle Crew, they have 15 points. Jessica Parra and Janine Molina Salcedo, Gary, they're in the hunt though with 13. And Jessica Chong and Devaney Collier with 10 points.
So it's pretty tight there. It's pretty cramped there, at least the top three. And then 13 isn't far behind, so that's 4 and 10, but 10 is 12 behind.
Right.
So.
And Amber,
with 15 points left is a max.
Amber Joseph and Nicole Shields way back with just 8 points. So we'll get you the current stats. Legs got to be burning a little bit for the ladies now. It's a
long
lot
race.
of laps. It's a big heat.
And people don't realize how they think, oh, well, you're getting fresh legs in when you sling your other rider in. What you're also doing is you're starting and stopping a whole lot. It's very hard to keep restarting again and trying to hit that fine form after you've just come to an almost complete stop or a real slowdown.
And again, these riders do cool down laps. When you're cruising around now, is that like a cool down lap to you? Or you have to put some pretty good pace in there because you don't want to cramp up or have a problem.
You're slowing. You're just making sure you're flushing any type of lactic acid that's building up in your legs. You're flushing that out, so it doesn't. Your legs won't explode, as they say. Your thighs won't feel like they're going to blow apart. You have to keep your legs moving. That's so critical in a race like this. But then again, you're constantly starting, stopping, slowing down. Most of these people would probably prefer, even though it'd be a lot more pain to do all 60 hard on your own, it's probably easier on your metabolism and your overall strength to do it all at once.
Bell lap. Points going to go out again. There's a big move down low. That was a huge jump. I think that was Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab.
Appeared like Team 68 there. Colleen Gulick taking top points in that sprint.
She's with Maggie Coles-Leister.
So the field is completely broken up in terms of the competition. Or some teams have dropped out. Team 66 for Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab.
Run, I one big one, come on.
That's just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, pump, 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 pump.
Whoa. That got a little dicey there. She dropped down pretty scary.
Kim Geis driving that front. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's a member of the World Championship U.S. Women's Team Pursuit, throwing Christina Birch into the race.
Legs pumping. Huge. That was Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab. I think it was Kendall Ryan. She's got the black number on for that team, which is team number 66.
Everybody's legs are hurting right about now.
7 laps to go. Race was tight. for the top spot. Several teams not in the hunt, single digits.
There's still some contesting going on. They're coming up. The penultimate points sprint.
It is tight between Team 66 and Team 67. Kendall Ryan and Megan Jastrab have 25 points. Christina Birch and Kim Geist have 24 points. And Jessica Pera and Janine Molina Salcedo, Gary, they climbed in with 23 points. They really are the three teams left battling for the top spot.
It is, and you can see Kim Geist here pedaling furiously.
2 more sets of points to go out. We'll give them to you as we get them.
Keep it going.
Not sure if there's been any changes. Christina Birch, Kim Geist, they took that last set of points for 5.
That's a big jump for them because now they take the lead.
With 28, I believe they have 28, and they're ahead by 3. Four laps to go, 1 last set of points. It is within a handful of points for the team that's going to win this race.
The Geist Birch team is still pushing forward. They're taking the big pull. Taking a look back is Miss Christina Birch.
They try to separate themselves from the rest of the field. A couple of riders up top almost have surrendered, not quite.
I don't think there's any surrender in these top 3 teams, that's for sure.
No,
that's why they are so well matched. So
here they come.
matched.
That's Geist in the red, Birch in the black. They right
Yeah,
now
that
holding out the
dicey
spot. That was
one.
tight right there.
That was. She almost wiped out Kim Geist on that one.
End of the last sprint.
Colombian. And that is Salcedo taking the lead on Geist.
Bell lap, here they go, one
lap.
final lap. Last lap is also double points.
Salcedo.
10-8-6-4 and 2. 10-8-6-4 and 2.
This is Salcedo and Geist, 1 and 2. Geist out of the saddle, powering up. She wants this. She's taking it. She refused to
Geist now down the back
She is
straight.
taking it. She says, this is when Birch said, I want to go, but she took it. Geist.
That is Kim Geist and Christina Birch are going to nab the 10 points. They should have won the race. Riders number 67. That is indeed Kim Geist in the red. Her partner, Christina Birch, with the black 67 number. Kim Geist looks like they are the winners as they get high fives from the crowd waiting for the fireworks, with some
Kim
fireworks right
tasted
there.
that last lap like it was her last meal on earth. She felt it. You could see her just get excited. You could see her body react to it. She got up out of the saddle and she just said, this is my lap. You're not having it. But you look at the smile on her face. She's happy. I've seen her ride since she's probably younger than 12, but definitely as a 12-year-old. And she's always been just an amazing person, just the nicest kid, grown into a wonderful young lady. She's giving back, she's coaching, she's a mentor. She coaches young, she coaches old.
There it is. Christina Birch and Kim Geist are your winners of the UCI Elite Women's Madison. They ran a great race. There to look at Birch.
And Christina, she's just coming off third place, and I forget the name of the race, unfortunately, but it's the big gravel race in the country, 100-mile gravel race on gravel. She came in third.
Wow, and there are some great shots at the velodrome. Those are not oil paintings, guys. Those are live shots here by our crew. Lights on, red sky at night, sailor's delight. I think tomorrow is going to be gorgeous.
I thought
Saturday.
I thought there were pretty clouds before, but now they're absolutely gorgeous.
Even better. I want to thank our crew here tonight. We mentioned the camera crew of Doug Long, Parm Long, Trevor Huffman, Chuck Wagner, and Spencer Coons. Our director tonight is Dwayne Long. Handling Chiron, all those graphics you see, Jason Douche. Stats, Jim Millens. Video, Joe Wolokovitz, George Williams. EIC, Andy Himmelwright in the house tonight. Audio is Corey Lures and John Jagowski. Utility, Dave Pisarullo. And we have Cassie Schmidt, trackside. Chris Brandt is also on master control. Want to thank that whole crew here.
They do an outstanding job bringing this to you every week. This is one of the fun facilities. This is the Diamond in Western Lehigh County. This is a great facility. People really need to come out here, experience the atmosphere, experience the passion, experience the athleticism of these riders.
And they are great athletes. And you know what everybody loses, Gary? They're just, since I started covering it for Service Electric, these are international. These are international athletes. There's our own telescope. Good shot of the moon.
I can see the Sea of Tranquility.
Well, the Sea of Tranquility is right here in Trexlertown.
This is a sea of excitement today.
That's a great shot of the moon. A couple of craters there. We're going to be slingshotting. In a couple of years from NASA, they want to go to Mars. They're going to use the moon. They're going to put the space station in between the Earth and the moon. It's going to kind of settle in there, and they'll be able to slingshot off the moon to go to Mars. Look, a shot of the nice crowd. There is a great crowd on hand tonight. They're going to take in the fireworks at the end of the cycling. There's a good shot. Nice, crisp, clear camera work. That's why I'm not doing camera work. I could never get it that clear. I can't take a camera on my phone.
Almost smack dab in the middle of that is Missy Erickson. She's one of the coaches here. She's a former rider. I'm not sure if she's still riding or not, but she's just an outstanding talent and an outstanding coach.
And it is the ladies. They're getting going again. This is Marquardt and Andrews. Andrews won the first match. Andrews in the black. This is for third and fourth place. This is the second of potentially 3 heats, but if Andrews wins it, it'll be closed out. This one will be followed by Genet and Ward for the first and second spot. Lorianne Genet beat Elise Andrews. Caitlin Ward beat Mandy Marquardt.
And now that the riders are a little bit rested, those ones who did the 3 rides, they're a little bit more rested. Still a lot taken out of their legs because they've had to do that one more hard effort. This time Marquardt measuring her up pretty good.
Andrews, number 43 in the black.
Trying to ride in a blind spot, make her unaware of where she is. There's going to be a peek down to look for the shadows. Keeping her in her sights.
Andrews over her left shoulder. They're coming now into turn 4. Andrews wants to not do an extra one. There's the bell lap.
Accelerated. She wants to force a jump.
Andrews now just starts to drill it around turns 1 and 2.
This is the flying lap record holder.
She's going into turn 3 with the lead. Here comes Marquardt closing the gap.
Pouring it on. She's powering through that third and fourth turn. Look at her coming out of the fourth turn. I don't know if she has it. She does. It looked like she had her at the wire. That was close.
Mandy Marquardt wins it. So for third and fourth, they'll have to come back for heat number 3 as Marquardt takes heat number 2.
That's always leaving it a little bit too close to chance.
Genet and Ward now will take to the track, and they'll be followed by the men.
So we'll have a third ride for the third and fourth place finish.
Here's a look, Gary.
Just look how fast she's coming out of that turn. Look at her go through. I didn't think she was going to get in here, but all of a sudden, just watch her stretch her whole bike. They call that a throw. Just extend your arms, push the bike physically.
And now that was a great shot. I don't know if we can show that again. How still their bodies were, though. Sometimes I don't notice that.
We saw the extension of Marquardt's arms, that little flick with the elbows to straighten the arms out. That's called a throw, and it's the equivalent of sticking your chest out to cross the line first in track. It just gives you that little bit of extra distance.
Now we have Genet and Ward. Genet in the blue, Ward in the yellow tone, white jersey. Genet gets set.
Genet looking for the gold medal. UCI Elite Women Sprint. Looking to do both the semifinals and the finals in straight rides.
This is a ride for the finals. Genet takes the lead. In the Canadian jersey, the maple leaf on the back.
Our friends to the north.
Stanley Cup champions on right now. St. Louis Blues, Boston Bruins. Blues took the lead. Great jerseys, though. Classic Blues jerseys.
Yes, and I couldn't be happier for Craig Berube. I've seen him since he was a rookie with the Flyers, and he's just always been a stand-up guy. He's always measured with his words, but always, mostly with a smile. When he was serious, you knew he was serious. And just to see how far he's come, I'm really happy for him.
He looks very calm behind that bench. I mean, I'm sure he's burning up inside, but he looks, as I said, he looks calm. Here they go. They're heading into turn 2.
Janae is she's still looking back, but now she's going to power up.
See if Ward can make the move. They're heading into turn 3.
She's going to do it. Nope. Janae just closed it off. She just took hold of that sprinter's lane and held her off.
And stayed in the saddle most of the way. So Janae is going to win our UCI Elite Women's Sprint. That's Lauriane Janae from Canada.
And that is some great form she put out there.
2 runs, our winner. Fantastic runs all the way around. Janae kept it simple. She won 2 in the first round and 2 in the second round. No extra laps for her tonight.
No, they say leading out is always the best way to do it because it's your effort. You don't have to worry about what the other person's doing, and that's exactly what she did. She went semifinals and finals, straight rides.
That is a look at turns 3 and 4. If you have not been out here to the Valley Preferred Cycling Center, but you should have been out here to the Valley Preferred Cycling Center.
It's you could, if an artist painted that, you would have thought it was a paint by numbers. It's just beautiful.
We talked a lot about a lot of room here for some expansion. Everybody was talking about pools and golf holes last week.
Yeah, we could do a lot with that infield.
You could do a little track and field in there too. You know that you could work that. Here we go. This is the men now for 3rd and 4th spot. This is Brister and Dawkins. Sam Brister from New Zealand and Dawkins from New Zealand. Bragging rights when they go back home after the summer.
Dawkins has been coming here again for a long, long time. Just a fun guy. They come here, the New Zealanders come here to work because that's what this is. This is their fall, winter in New Zealand, Australia. It's their tough time of the year, but here's where they get to actually train year-round. This is part of their year-round training. You don't have as many cyclists going to Australia and New Zealand as they have coming here.
Brister behind, Dawkins holds him off. Brister, little sprinkle of yellow in his jersey, Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't think he's any relation to Bubby Brister.
Not quite Steelers yellow, but
yeah, Dawkins and Brister would have to trade tops. Then the black pants and the yellow jersey might fit. Dawkins looks back, holds him off. Brister won the first one. Can he make a move again?
Yeah, Brister's coming on strong. He's flying through that 3rd turn. He's trying with all he might to catch him.
Here they come.
He's caught up. He's
coming across the finish line. Wow, that was tight.
I believe he caught him going to the line. Just going so much faster at the end.
Oh, yeah, there's the handshake.
Straight rides.
So Brister must have nailed him. Dawkins is going to finish 4th.
Brister
finished 3rd.
Brister brusted him.
He did. Let's take a look. Hope we got that on a replay.
He knows the kind of talent that he beat. Saluting his competition, thanking the crowd.
Here you go.
And here he comes. Just look at how much faster his pedal. Look where the way his knees are tucked. And Doc, look at that.
Great finish. It shows you how fast they're coming around that track.
Just Dawkins' knees were just out, just a flare, and Brister's knees were tucked. That just made him just a little bit more aerodynamical, just a little bit more power.
So Brister will take 3rd place. Dawkins will take 4th place, and they wave to the crowd. That'll bring out James Mellon, and he's going against Sam Webster. Mellon in the red. He had a great run first time around to
Yes, he did.
take Dawkins.
Rode very smart race. He is tactically right now. He's on top of his game. Mentally, he's in this. And it's great to see. A year out from the Olympics, he's gaining confidence with every race, it seems. I'll tell you what, there's nothing greater than setting a track record here. And for him to do that, he's got to have such great confidence in his abilities, in his speed. Going against seasoned riders like Sam Webster, like Eddie Dawkins. This is how champions are made. This is how world champions are made.
They head into turn 2 now down the back stretch. Mellon against Webster.
Ty Mellon was such a celebrity in high school that his junior year, the yearbook gave a whole page to him as a junior.
A little focus on cycling, maybe. Here comes Mellon. He's in the position he likes to be behind.
Taking off. Webster really opened up a huge lead. I don't know. This looks. Here we come.
Here comes Mellon on his tail.
Mellon's not quitting. No quitting Mellon. I mean, that was a huge gap to try and make up. He made up the gap, couldn't get it to win, but there was no quit. A lot of times you'll see the riders concede and save their energy for the next ride. Mellon pushed them. Webster's like, what the heck?
Great run
close.
by Sam Webster.
He can throw his hand up afterwards like,
Yeah.
where'd he come
Man,
from?
He was on my tail and I didn't even realize it.
He thought he had that one going away, and there's no quitting James Mellon.
1-1. Mellon and Webster are going to have to come back and do it again. So we can find out who finished it in first place. We'll put it aside, and the men will come out now for a 70-lapper. Madison. Teams are set up. Nice, cool night here. It's going to be a beautiful night for fireworks.
I keep forgetting fireworks under that gorgeous sky.
All righty, we have team 50, Tyler Campbell and Akil Campbell and Tyler Cole, pardon me. We have Rider of the Year, number 51, Bobby Lee and Stephen Hall. That's got to be a pretty good tandem. Stephen Hall's done well here at Valley Preferred, and locally, of course, Easton's Bobby Lee, an Olympian, great rider. Marvin Orlando Angarita will pair with Juan Esteban Arango from Colombia. They will be number 52. 55 is John Kroom and Gavin Hoover. 56, Shane Klein and Eric Young. 57, Ian Ulrich and Tristan Manderfield. 58, Thomas Rotherham and Andrew Bernstein.
Don't count them out.
Nope.
Tom Rotherham likes to be in for the sprints, and he can do the long haul as well.
And Josh Duffy, Michael Astel will be wearing number 59. And 63, Jamal Eastman and Edwin Sutherland. They have some scratches. We'll make sure they're in the race before we give you those pairings. Derek Gee, who won the men's biggie, should be paired with Michael Foley. Try to see if I can see them down there on the track. I don't see Gee's helmet in that crowd, but maybe he's wearing a different helmet. Could be throwing me a curveball.
There are quite a few
they're
pairs.
out there. 54. Great camera shot. See if I can see team 53 out on the track. That would be Aiden Caves and Vincent DeHatre. They are 53. Let's see if we can catch those riders, whether they're in or not. We'll get our stat guy, Jim Millets, to check that out.
Get ready to line up here on the boards and on the blue band.
Boards and blue band ready to go.
The
Riders head
are
across
picked
the
to far
track.
side.
70 laps coming your way. Sounds like a lot. These guys eat up 70 laps pretty quickly.
Yes, they do.
Sprint points given out every 5 laps.
I think this may be Bobby Lee's first race since his Olympic year, if I'm not mistaken. First race here since his Olympic year.
A couple of years ago.
Three-time Olympian. That's just so hard to fathom.
Yes. 12 years worth of your life invested in one activity.
And a lot more than that, because he came here as a 16-year-old, had his own apartment, had friends here. His mom mom and dad helped arrange it. He comes from a cycling family. They knew this was the place for him to be to develop his skills. The legendary Jim Young, coach from Penn State, coached him. He's a Penn State's Lehigh Valley student to work with Coach Jim Young.
There they go. The men have got it rolling. They're going to do 70 laps. And it looks like that Canadian teams are both in the race. Alden Caves, Vincent DeHatre, and Michael Foley and Derek G. G and Foley are number 54. Caves and DeHatre are 53.
It's funny, the Lee and Hall team named Writer of the Year. They've both been Writers of the Year.
$14 teams out of 16 given us, and a couple of riders picked up new bibs before the race started. Now, Gary, could that be because as the night goes, maybe some riders change their mind about running in the contest?
It could be. Just people didn't think they were going to show up or didn't think they'd feel strong enough at the time. Said, hey, I feel good after that scratch race. Put us in. As the scratch race was early in the program. So a couple more people might have felt like this is a nice race. It actually looks like it's Ashton Lambie, though, up front.
Bobby Lee is number 51.
We don't have a team
wearing a black
listed, but that kind of looked like Ashton Lambie is number 76. I'd be surprised he'd be racing the Madison, though.
And Stephen Hall is red, number 51, paired with Bobby Lee. Stephen Hall, a couple seasons ago, man, he was pretty dominant.
He's on fire, yeah. I don't believe he's ever been on the Australian national team either, which is kind of a wonderment because he's been such a good rider. He's been such a solid rider, always exhibited great form here, always competed with won against the New Zealand Olympians. But again, Australia used to continually send people here. And they're not so much anymore, but New Zealand has really assumed that role from our friends down in Oceania. Got a huge sprint being led out here by team number 50, Tyler Campbell and Akil Campbell. Tyler Cole, rather.
First points are in. We'll give them to you as soon as we have them. Tyler Cole, Akil Campbell, number 50. They picked up the 5 points. Picking up 3 points are riders, mystery rider 76. We'll get you those names as soon as we can. And Alden Caves and Vincent DeHatre picked up third place points. The Canadians picked up 3.
You can just see how spirited this is right now. Everyone's willing to push hard. Again, there's another move coming out of the field as they tries to break apart to get some clean handslings in there. We got a big one there in turn 3.
1 lap to go before the next set of points pop out.
Get ready, the team in red and white, ready to sling in. It's team 54, that's our Canadian friends, Derek Gee and Michael Foley in red and white. Team 63 seems to be powering through. And here we are for the bell.
Eastman and Sutherland, that is, team 63.
Come on, son!
Still
It's
in
a
a quandary.
drag race down the back straight.
Still in a quandary about
Canadian
team
team
75 and
taking the lead.
76.
Canadian team driving for those first place points in this sprint.
Guy picks them up. Michael Foley and Derek Guy. Guy with the red numbers, Foley with the black numbers. It's kind of like Speed Racer. Every week now we have a Racer X. We don't know who he is.
There
Or
were a
who she
couple
is.
of them.
Couple Racer X's.
And now there's another move from the pack as Ryder tries to break away. We got a couple of hand slings. See if Ryder's going to be content to let Ryder go or if we're going to chase him down.
Team of Eastman and Sutherland with Guy and Foley. Got to be careful. That Guy doesn't like to mess around. He's gonna take the lead as soon as he can.
And he's going to sneak in through everybody. So our mystery teams are from Brazil and New Zealand. Not so much that they're mystery teams, but they're mystery riders.
Mystery riders. That's right. The mystery of the team has been solved. Kojak.
We know the teams. We don't know who composes those teams.
And I don't know enough New Zealanders or Brazilians to just pick that out of a hat. We're going to get one
And we're
more
gonna
set of
sprint
scores
here.
before we go.
And the drag is on. And here comes the powered sprint. Got, it looks like a Stars and Stripes jersey there in the front, taking command, coming down the home straight.
Was that 56
Looked
picking
like-
up points again?
Yep.
Shane Klein and Eric Young took those 5 points. Speaking of some points, we're going to get some pointers from Cassie Schmidt and a special guest trackside.
Thanks, guys. I'm here with Lo Janae, the winner of the UCI Sprint for the women. First and foremost, how you feeling after that one?
Really good. I've been in the World Cup season. It's really harder to win some race. So came here to build some confidence, and to win tonight feels really good.
Yeah, I mean, you were pretty dominant both in the semifinals and in the finals. Is that kind of how you thought things would go?
I qualified in the morning with the fastest time, so I was hoping that it would go well. But it's always a matter of tactics. Also, it not only depends on your speed, but I'm really happy with how I raced tonight.
I was just going to ask, what really is a strategy that you have going into this? It's a relatively shorter race, but what was your strategy for it?
Most of the girls that I raced have a long sprint, but they tend to take longer to gain their full speed compared to me, that I can just go fast, really quickly, but then I'll die at the end. So I was trying to push the sprint really later than sooner, then to do a sprint shorter to hopefully pass the line the first one. Yeah.
And talk about the importance of kind of your positioning in that first lap, the slower lap. What were you kind of thinking during that first lap?
On that first lap, for sure, you need to see your opponent. You need to know where she is at all time, and to protect the corridor, which is between the black and the red line. Yeah, you need to protect the corridor to be the first one to take it and make the sprint shorter for you.
So how many years have you been coming back here to T-Town?
It's my 3rd year. I was just starting track cycling, came here my first year in 2017, and did not do great at all, and came back last year with the national team. So I was training with them for about 6 months with the national team, and ended up with 2 silver, and then came back this year and got gold, so it feels good.
What are your thoughts on the competition here at T-Town and especially this year?
It's really good. I was here last year, like I said, and there was quite good girls from New Zealand and United States, but now there's girls from quite a lot of countries, Australia, which their girls are quite strong in Australia, so it's good to race with a strong field.
I also feel like a lot of the riders love just the atmosphere here at T-Town. Is that something you really like and kind of what brings you back each year?
Definitely. Every time I see it, the atmosphere is just amazing. To race at night with Gabe and the music and people are just amazing. I'm from Quebec, and hockey is like super big, and people just love hockey. And I feel like here in T-Town, track cycling is a bit like hockey, so yeah, it's good.
Well, congratulations. Thank you for doing the interview.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
Thanks, Cassie. Great interview again, and getting the insight from the racers, always fantastic. The riders are going to keep going around this concrete crater. We're going to be back after this message. Welcome back. It's the Festival of Speed weekend at the Valley Preferred Cycling Center in Trexlertown. Jim Krupko along with Gary Blockus. And Gary, we have about 18 laps to go, and I'm believing the leaders are Shane Klein and Eric Young.
Yeah, they were doing very well. They had another sprint just a few minutes ago. We're going to have another one in 3 laps. They've been on fire right now. But it is anybody's game. It's not like anybody's blowing things away. Derek G and Michael Foley from Canada are contesting for it.
Bobby Lee and Stephen Hall are sticking their nose up there in the top runners.
Again, we've got the 3-time Olympian out there.
So there we have the New Zealanders holding down top spot. Or the Brazilians, pardon me, Ruben Ramos and Joel Candido are in the lead spot.
So they took that last sprint. Now we're going into one more here.
Let's go.
So we'll see. That's the team to watch.
Rider off the front is Derek Gee, I believe.
Derek Gee now.
No, it's Michael Foley, the
and
black
Derek
number.
Gee.
Yeah. He takes the lead points.
So it could be Gee and Foley in the lead.
Yeah, they're swapping it back and forth right now. They said it's all close. Nobody's going away in this one. They're all within striking distance.
Teams now bunched up as they head across finish line. 14 laps to close it out. They've done 70 laps.
Team and crewman Hoover were there towards the start of that last lap.
They're spreading out the points, sharing them.
A little bit of a hook there to force.
Great move again.
Yeah, a little bit of a hook to force.
You know, what I'm seeing tonight from G, Gary, he rides really well in traffic. Like, it doesn't seem to phase him. He makes his move, makes the jump.
He threw a little hook, and Eric Young, who was riding with Shane Klein, just didn't take it. Just went up above him and wanted to take command, and he did.
So we're looking at 25 and 23 points.
We have another hand sling in there, right next to another rider. These guys are strong and confident. They know what they're capable of. So we're up to one more sprint here. This is
2 sets of points to go out, and the last points.
3 more sets of sprints altogether, concluding this one.
Probably doubled last points too. Very important. They usually double the last set of points to go out.
Never more important than right now. Team number 75 tearing down.
That's the New Zealanders. And again, we apologize. We do not have names of the New Zealand riders.
Could it be Webster and Dawkins? A little bit long for them.
I wouldn't put it past them.
They're both in black jerseys.
They like to ride here, Webster and Dawkins.
Dawkins is in a white suit tonight. White kit. Yeah. Here we go again, 2 off the
Big
front.
sprint, 8 laps, 2 riders trying to sneak those second last set of 5 points.
One of our Canadian teams, Canadian riders.
We do know Shane Klein and Eric Young have 24 points. They are in second place. We have Michael Foley and Derek G have 22 points. And John Kroom and Gavin Hoover, Gary, they're in there with 13 points. They're in there with 13 points.
Yeah, you just saw the Colombian team just a few seconds ago. Marvin Orlando Angarita and Juan Esteban Arango making a nice little move.
So unfortunately, the team leading it out, we don't have the names of the riders. It's team 75. Last set of points, 5, 3, 2, and 1.
Team number 52, Colombia again with that spirited run.
And Garita
He's being
and
chased,
Rongo.
but no one's going to catch him.
See if they can crawl back in. The Colombians, 52.
We're looking for second place points for the rest of the people. That was
And now
56, Shane Klein and Eric Young taking second place points.
The Colombians realize backs against the wall. They are flying around the track with the double points. Can they crawl back into contention?
We have 1 sprint to go. And Colombia is pushing the pace.
Big time pushing the
You
pace.
saw him go down on the blue there. That's perfectly permissible as long as you're not passing another team. You can't pass another team on the blue.
They're going to make a move. They're going to pass another team. They are cranking it up. And another sling in for the Colombians. They're drilling it.
I don't think the American riders can catch them. I don't think the Canadian riders will catch them. That's just a spirited effort. They're putting the pedal to the metal. This is just superior horsepower for the Colombians. So that's Arango with the red 52 number. He's just powering past people.
And
He takes a look back to see where is anybody else? Is anybody else even near me that's in contention?
Kind of drilling it.
And it appears that nothing's going to stop him.
The New Zealanders with 37 points. Unfortunately,
And we have the tag toss
15 points only.
Angarita.
And Arango, but they only have 15 points. The most they can get is 25.
And here comes Shane Klein.
And Eric Young.
Shane Klein and he does it. He takes the sprint.
Shane Klein takes a sprint. If there's 10 points on that, Shane Klein and Eric Young will have 37 points. They will have moved into the top spot and will have taken this sprint.
And I'll tell you, Shane Klein's another one that I've known since he was a young boy. Look at that. Just look at the power going. Look at the speed, the determination. Looks down at the shadow behind him, knows the shadow's behind him, and he's got the victory sealed.
And sounds of the race there, you could hear them whirring around turns 3 and 4. Shane Klein, fist goes up in victory. We're going to confirm that.
But he just caught him totally by surprise. Rango never knew he was coming. Just flung as hard as he could and just sprinted past him so fast. Stopping up, visiting some well-wishers. I'm sure he's married. I'm sure his wife is in that group. I'm not sure which one she would be, but
Shane Klein and Eric Young, they're going to nab the 10 points. Spirited run. As I have them finishing with 37 points. They're going to take the UCI Elite Madison. It is 37 points. And they're going to, it's a tie.
It's a tie, but it would go to the one that won the last sprint.
Okay, so there you go. Thanks, Gary.
Because he won the race.
Good run. They made their move. That was tight all the way around, so the tie is broken by winning that last 10-point sprint.
He knew what was on the line. He knew his math. He knew where he was. He knew what he had to do, and he accomplished the job. Just like, I mean, we're talking about this is the year before the Olympics. He knows how much this means to him. The points he's accumulating now, 4 World Championships and World Cups heading into the Olympic year. He's making a mark here in front of the national team. This is his shout to the national team, like, hey, include me.
Great run. Now you should be seeing the women come out. This should be Marquardt and Andrews. They are
one more ride.
Down one more ride. They've got one each. They captured their race in similar fashion. Congratulates the Colombian team, who was maybe an inspiration pouring it on there.
Yeah.
And the back made Klein ride a little bit harder.
They made everybody work harder, the Colombians did, for sure. We can never doubt when Shane Klein is on the track that you're going to get the best effort out of him possible.
Now a little warm up, a little wait. Our riders, we'll wait for the riders to come out onto the track. Here they come.
The holders bringing the bikes up to the track.
There's a look at Elise Andrews.
All the way from New Zealand.
Mandy Marquardt in the blue.
Originally from Florida, Mandy. Father's from Germany. He's been here to the track many times to see his daughter race.
Should be a very proud dad.
Yes, and I'll tell you, Mandy is she's just a tremendous young woman. She's been battling diabetes all her life. She's an advocate for people with diabetes. She rides for Team Novo Nordisk, which makes one of the diabetes drugs. She helps other kids. She helps train other kids who have diabetes. She speaks to groups. Kind of like her mission in life to show that nothing can hold you back. Only you can hold yourself back.
Here we go. Marquardt now top of the track. I really should have taken notes. I think she likes the top of the track.
I think she likes to win. I don't think what position.
That's the best thing.
She may have a favorite, but she likes to win. Then again, Mandy's had one more ride to go because
Marquardt and Andrews.
So this is her 6th ride. This is Andrews' 5th. Andrews lost in straight rides in the semifinals. This is now for 3rd and 4th place. Marquardt's a little bit more measured. You can see her upper body just a little tenser, a little stiffer. She wants to make sure she's ready to pop at a moment's notice.
Riders now, much like in baseball, wearing the matted colored helmets. Yeah, a little dull look to them, look very sharp. I'm also sure their priority is not the form. It's more the function to protect these riders' heads.
There we see the riders slowing. We're not going to come to that track stand style where they're going too slow like we had to restart earlier. But Andrews wants to use that speed that gave her the flying lap. Marquardt wants to use her speed if she can. She's taking the lead. She doesn't want to waste too much energy looking back, but she's got to make sure she doesn't open up the door down below. And she's keeping her out down below. She can't let her get up too high to get the speed going. She's trying to hold her off coming through the turns. This is shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow. It doesn't get much tighter.
Andrews is going to, Elise Andrews is going to walk away with it.
That's an ESPN slip.
ESPN slip, yeah, Aaron Andrews. Seen her on ESPN a couple times. So Elise Andrews, not Aaron Andrews.
This one
takes the race. What a good one,
this
though.
This one was a side-by-side drag. It's always great to see those, too. There's a whole bunch of different varieties of ways to ride, whether it's from the front, from the back, from behind. But watching them go side-by-side like that, elbow to elbow, shoulder to shoulder.
So it is Elise
comes again. Andrews. She gets up shoulder to shoulder, elbow to elbow. Look at them flying. And it just accelerates just that little bit extra in the final, like 10, 15 meters.
I love that humming sound as the riders come down those last 2 turns. Good pickup.
And there's nothing like that sound. It's one of the most hypnotizing, mesmerizing, soothing sounds you'll ever hear. So
3rd and 4th, Brister and Dawkins will take to the track. in the UCI Elite Men's Sprint. Brister's got a win. Dawkins has a win.
Brister looks like he's got just a little bit too much.
Or is this Mellon and Webster? Hold on.
This is Mellon. Mellon and Webster.
Mellon and Webster. This is not Brister and Dawkins. Brister was wearing yellow. This has been a good race.
Webster.
I wouldn't be surprised to see this one be toe-to-toe right down to the end also. They've had 2 good runs.
Webster going way off the blue line, the blue sea.
He's like
he can voluntarily surrender that lead that he's required to hold if he gives it up, as long as the Mellon's not obligated to overtake him.
He was liking the apron there for a while.
Yes, he was. He said, well, he said with the Pee Wee peddlers here, the big blue sea. Most of them like to ride there early on until they get a little bit of guts to them to go up into the curves, to go up into the banking. A lot of the speed comes out of the banking. It allows you to gain your power, reach full speed quicker. And Mellon makes a quick move down below with a lap and a quarter to go.
Mellon and Webster.
He wants to drag this one out. He's giving him a little opening.
Dawkins coming up top, toe-to-toe, elbow to elbow.
Elbows out on Mellon. He wants to try and make his space big. And it's down below, but he's got him. Mellon holds off.
Mellon completes his day, set a record this morning, going under 10 seconds. And now takes Dawkins and wins the UCI Elite Men's Sprint run.
That's the way you lead it out. That's what you call it, leading out all the way for the entire final lap. And Kassar going down the back straight, he flared his elbows out a little bit, tried to make his space bigger. If Webster was going to make a move, he was going to have to go up a little bit higher, waste a little bit more energy. See the elbows coming out there? He doesn't want to pass him. Now he gets a little bit more arrow going into the curves. As you can see the staccato movements of the bike as he just keeps forcing the power through those pedals.
So James Mellon, again, great run by Mellon, completes his day.
It's a victorious smile for sure.
At Valley Preferred Cycling Center, gets a high five from one of the fans. Cruises it out.
That's one of the cool things about this sport as well. You finish, you get to like high five all the fans as you go around.
We see Sam Webster going into the infield as Mellon
collects more greetings.
Some more high fives. Those fans are going to be loving that. Sharing that with family when they get home tonight.
Book your tickets for Tokyo now.
There you go. He might be in there.
Tokyo 2020. I have a good friend who builds golf courses all over Southeast Asia. Wonder if he'll be going to the Olympics.
Yeah, if he's over there, why not?
Yeah.
Golf, I don't know, when do they play the golf? Do they do the golf in the Summer Olympics or the Winter Olympics?
Golf isn't an Olympic sport, really?
Sure it is now. Yeah, they get medals. They get medals. I don't remember who's gotten them. The professional players can play.
Actually, some of my writings for Team USA, I had to cover, not cover, but from home watch the golf results in case an Olympian or an Olympic medalist medaled. I had to do a little write-up on it. And there are, I think, 2 or 3 of them that I had to write up.
Justin Rose, I think.
Justin Rose was, I had to write about him, yes.
He also won down in Philly at Marion. Won the U.S. Open down there. There's a great shot of the crowd. The lights.
Ready to.
Here at Valley Preferred Cycling Center.
Everybody's getting their hot dog and beverage, getting ready to settle in for what's going to be an incredible night of fireworks in a few minutes.
And here's James Mellon getting off the bike. A little help from
his coaches.
Staff here at the velodrome.
A little bit of New Zealand coach congratulating him.
And now I'm not sure if I got it wrong. They didn't run the race for 3rd and 4th. Somebody must have.
Yeah, Brister won a straight.
Oh, Brister won a straight rides. Okay, then I had it wrong. So Brister nabbed.
Now you can see the difference of the pedal stroke there. This is a direct drive bike, single gear, fixed gear. So it's a little bit different this time out. He's gonna spin his legs out a little bit.
And coasted going down.
Not that
into
big,
the
powerful
infield.
gear for the sprint.
A lot of activity.
We're gonna
Still
have-
here at the track.
Last year, last few seasons, they were doing podiums as they occurred. This year, podiums are at the end of the night, which the riders will come up and accept their gold, silver, bronze medals, maybe some flowers.
Yeah, they do the flower. They used to do the flowers a lot. They used to hand them out right after the races.
I can remember
flowers for the most time.
I can remember the riders coming around, grabbing the flowers, and continuing to ride around as they cool down.
And Gary, now we're here. 2 Sports is here on a Friday, covering the Friday night action. But there is other activity going on here at the Velodrome.
Well,
just about every night of the week.
Just about. It was Wednesday night pro-ams, which are just fantastic racing. It's the pros come out, but also the Cat 2 and 3 riders come out, and they get to race a little bit and get some points to possibly upgrade. There's senior racing on Sundays, with kid racing on Saturdays and Sundays. It's just it's in use for riding. It's also a public facility, so there are times when training isn't going on that the public can actually come out and ride on this velodrome, whether it's with their regular bike or with if they've got a track bike, they can go out and try it or train on it. They don't have a coach. Coaching gets certain times out here, particularly when the internationals are here. The time is divvied up. Nationals for U.S. will be right around the 4th of July this year, I believe. So pretty much once the UCI racing is done in June, our national riders will be heading out to take care of business. Looks for some more Stars and Stripes jerseys to add to the adornments or to grab for the very first time.
And to come back to the Velo later in the season then with their new jerseys.
I'm really excited for the people, again, like James Mellon, like Shane Klein, like Kim Geist, who are looking for their first Olympic opportunity. It's Kim Geist is member of 2 World Championship women's team pursuits, has the opportunity to go to the Olympics for the first time, and she's got to be excited about that. Obviously cautious about it because you never know what can happen, but this is a building phase, this is a proving phase, and you want to be the top dog. You want to be the one coming up with the best results most consistently.
I'm not sure if we're trying to round up James Mellon and maybe get an interview with a sprint winner for tonight. There's a look at some of the folks down in turn 3 and turn 4. A shot of the grandstands.
We call it Trexlertown, the bicycle capping of the world, and it really is. It's you see the world coming here all the time for it.
And again, the pool of international riders over the years has been fantastic. They've been in Trexlertown. A lot of people don't even know these riders are in here. And they're not coming here for a night, and blowing out of town. These guys are coming in for a couple of weeks.
Couple of months,
strong,
sometimes
months.
some for the whole season, depending on what their international schedules are. But there'll be riders back again during other racing throughout the season because they like it here so much, because they know the competition is here, because they know the fans are here, the fans support them.
And they've been here. We've had riders. I think Tom Rotherham has been here, and he's been in contention for Rider of the Year
Several times.
And Tom has stayed because he didn't want to give up that opportunity to be the Rider of the Year.
Exactly. And then Matthew, his brother, has been here quite often. His brother is riding as a pilot, I believe, for visually impaired athletes in Great Britain. I believe that will be his ticket to the 2020 Olympics. So I'm sure he's concerned about doing that.
And we're going to give out some awards now.
Anita Stenberg.
To the podium, you had mentioned Anita
Norway.
Stenberg.
There's our Colombian rider, the victor of the women's scratch race. Anita Stenberg from Norway. Was she Rider of the Year 2 years ago, I believe, or 3 years ago?
Can't remember for sure. There's a look down.
She had a strong showing.
Look down turn number 1 and the finish line here at Valley Preferred Cycling Center.
walk across the famed bridge to the infield. Flags of various countries across it. Mr. Hoover.
Gavin now takes to the podium. Oh, Derek G, pardon me. Derek G with a great run tonight, though. Had a great
They don't have
night.
their regular racing numbers on because they did the Madison. They have their Madison numbers on. Looks like almost a Canadian sweep, except for that one American who managed to make the podium.
Snuck in.
You see some of the bikes going out of the velodrome. But most of us have to walk across the bridge. The bikes are allowed to go through a little fence there. Little gate.
They had that close tonight. Sometimes they let us go across the track to get down into the infield.
Once they start moving, if you don't look left fast enough,
Yeah,
like these people are doing down here, you need to look to the left because there's going to be traffic before the races. These riders come out and they're warming up, and sometimes they're more concerned about what they're doing than anything that's supposed to be on the track.
I'm always impressed with kind of Andrews takes to the podium.
Hands on hips. It's almost like the defiant girl on Wall Street, right? Kind of pose. And our champion in the women's sprint tournament
captured it. And Caitlin Ward,
I was asked one time, why do all cyclists walk funny? I said, they're not walking funny. It's the shoes they're wearing.
Yeah,
they have those cleats in the front, and they can't get regular flexion out of it like you can in
out
a
of your
real
foot,
shirt.
sure. You can see how the shoes, you can see the cycling shoes there.
You can see how their toes are so far up in the air.
The toes are pointing up.
They're rigid and they have the cleats. So no, that is not how all cyclists walk. I remember during junior nationals here one time, Andy Lakatasha's sister Cindy was one of the top women in the country, top junior women in the country.
Right.
She had different color shoes, so she had silver and gold to wear, depending on what medal she won. But they weren't not real shoes, like high heels.
Mr. Brister, now you can tell
He's
he
in
doesn't have
sneakers.
He's got sneaks on. A little more comfortable for him.
More comfortable for me as well.
Yeah. Webster now had a couple great runs tonight.
Mr. Webster, no relation to Daniel.
Heads to the podium. There he is. James Mellon, a local boy. Had a good summer last summer, too, as I recall, near the end. He accomplished quite a lot.
Yeah, he started out slow, but then he started getting form, and he's kept it going. That's the important thing. I think graduating college is allowed to keep it going. Again, he's looking forward to going to medical school. He's applied to several already, or started last week. And all luck to him for that. But the dream for the Olympics 2020, that's still fresh, that's still available. That's the carrot that's driving him right now. Medical school, can you imagine applying to medical school and say, if you accept me, I need years to firm me. I'm in Olympic contention.
Exactly. But what medical school wouldn't want to have an Olympian, a known Olympian?
It worked for Eric Heiden.
Right, it did. There's a shot at the...
He's one of the premier orthopedic surgeons in the athletic community today.
Bridge to the infield.
Yes.
Eric Heiden, a great Olympian.
Here's the women's Madison, I believe. Yes.
Colombians finished
second.
They're always a threat in the distance races on the track. They're formed, their training, it's just superb.
Kim Geist.
And again, I'm not just looking at the physical accomplishments these two did tonight, Kim and Christina Birch, but the mental power between the two of them. With Christina's got a PhD, I believe it's in engineering from MIT, and Kim's got a master's degree in kinesiology. She coaches, she knows everything about the human body and performance.
So there they are, the winners, Geist and Birch. Take to the podium. It's great to see the riders too. It's rare that we get to see them without the helmets on. So, they take to the podium there. Now we know what they look like.
When they put their helmets on, they look like everybody else. Yeah. You just have to know what color helmet they have. If they all have black, or they all have pink, or they all have the brown with the stripes on it, you don't know who they are.
Now we'll be getting the men's team heading to the podium. Even the riders hanging around for fireworks.
And we'll find out who the New Zealanders are.
So Derek G and Michael Foley, Canadians, come for third place.
We heard from Mr. G earlier in the program. Riders who already entered in this event, so their names were not available on our roster sheets.
The New Zealanders, but these guys are definitely known to us. Shane Klein and Eric Young from the USA are going to take the Madison.
Shane with the hat on.
They'll take the #1 spot on the podium. They'll take a batch of flowers home. And there you have it. Wrapping up tonight from Valley Preferred Cycling Center, Shane Klein, Eric Young, for Gary Blockus, Dwayne Long, our stats man Jim Mills. This is Jim Cripper saying, keep on riding.